All right, folks, welcome to the old shop. Not back to the shop, back to the old shops. This is where it all started. This is the little two-bay shop out behind the house where we did a ton of work with limited space and limited equipment, and grew into the empire we all have now. So, anyways, was down in the States today, and I was in a Harbor Freight store getting a couple little things, and they had a Doyle 4-inch vise in stock. I've seen these online, and there was some display models in the store over the last little while, but they finally had one in the wild that I could take home, and I couldn't resist. So when I first saw these in the store, I said, "Man, that looks a lot like that old Craftsman professional one that Dad bought me years ago." And here is that Craftsman professional that Dad bought me at least 15 years ago, and it was the best vice we could afford, or he could afford, and certainly more than I could afford. And it has been an awesome vice. It went through all of the abuse I could ever throw at it out here in the little shop, and it didn't move over with me to the bigger shop. We bought some Wiltons when we grew up, but we've kept this one here, and it still gets a fair bit of use. You know, we still break our toys out here at the farm, and we're constantly using them. But you can see this thing's been, commercial dutied for 15 years and never even broke a sweat. And the guys on Garage Journal used to just go gaga over these vices because they were like the poor man's Wilton, right? You know, you can't afford $1,000 for a vice, but $150 on a vice is certainly reasonable. So, and these really seem like a great value. Dad, of course, took this all apart, cleaned all the inners, and greased it all before he gave it to me, because we don't do anything half-assed around here, and he certainly doesn't either. But like I said, when I saw this Doyle for the first time, I said, "Man, that looks like that." And when Sears closed, we were really sad to see, these vices were no longer available. Because when we opened the shop, moved to the bigger shop, I would have bought 2 of these, or 3 of these, or 4 of these for that shop, but just couldn't get them, so we had to get creative. You see, this is mounted per my rules, right? The back of the jaw is in line or whatever. So you can put stuff through the vise and actually use it. Anyways, Harbor Freight, it was $135 or $140. No more coupons. Kind of bummed about that. I'd like to got a couple percent off, but I had to have it. You got me. It looks identical. Again, side by side. You look at the way that the jaws are screwed in, the fasteners even. The fastener might be different. We've got a a Phillips, and what looks to be an Allen. So that might be better, because these are an American design and they don't work. Okay, if that was a Robertson, it would work. But yeah, you can even see the little jaw down here is an Allen as well. So that's actually an improvement. That's kind of cool. But that has nothing to do with the casting, and as things progress, that might have been whatever screws they could get at the time. So, but I'm going to say that these 2 vices came out of the same factory, came out of the same mold, certainly the same CAD file, everything right down to the numbers that are stamped in here, or that are in the mold. Slightly different size, but similar font. That says 4.5-inch jaw, which is a little bit confusing because the box from Harbor Freight says that these are a 4-inch jaw. You see, that's not molded in, but stickered on there, which is kind of interesting. But I'm going to say, for all intents and purposes, these are the same vise. This has a bit of a gritty feel to it. This one's really smooth, but again, that's because Dad took it all apart and cleaned all the schmoo out. And the only complaint I got so far on this is you can see this kink. I don't know whether it got dropped in handling or just nobody gave a shit, but I'm not going to take it back for that. It's like it's a fucking $150 vise. It'll be fine. But I love this vise. I love it. If I could find more of them, I'd buy them. Am I going to love this vise? Well, we're going to find out. This one's going to go to the shop. We're going to bring one of my Wiltons home and find a home for it here at the shop. I didn't need another vise, but you always need another vise. And and we're going to beat the hell out of this thing, and I'll give you, you know, some real feedback in 6 months or a year. But I think if it's half of what this was, we got a winner here. And I'm going to already say a recommend to buy. When you can put your hands on one of these, I think it's going to be an excellent addition to any shop, any garage, any tent, any whatever. You need a good vise. This I call a good vise. It's not an amazing vise, but it's buy a $150 vise, put it on your bench, and spend the other $800 that you would have spent on a Wilton on more tools. This is awesome. So this is going to work great. Again, 4-inch. 4-inch. Last thing, see my other video on mounting vices, right? See, again, align it with the edge of the bench, if not more. I just watched a video on like a $2,000 all CNC. It was a beautiful vise. The guy's going to put it in his garage just as garage art. And he spent about 45 minutes talking about it and puts it on the bench about here, basically. And then, so the first thing you put in it is going to do that, and you're not going to be able to stick it in any further, and you're going to be really disappointed. But your wife's really disappointed with the same issue, so who cares? Anyways, thanks for watching. Right now, I'm calling that a buy. In 6 months, we'll do another video after we beat the hell out of it in the shop. Maybe I'll change my mind, but yeah, I'm impressed. Harbor Freight, we got a winner. Thanks for watching. Oh, and don't put your dick in there, okay? Just don't. I don't want to talk about why, but some things are best not learned the hard way. And remember, if it's worth doing twice. Thanks for watching.